Hey guys, welcome to Braddels Gaming and to another episode of my Far Cry 5 community creation series. And just like yesterday's episode, today I'm also going to be featuring another horror map just in time for Halloween. There will also be another one coming tomorrow on the actual day of Halloween, but today we're going to be looking at a map called The Tunnel by XXVaberswag13XX. This is a map on the Xbox One, and it is arguably the best zombie tunnel map I have played in the arcade. I haven't played a whole lot, but out of all the maps I can remember playing that featured zombies in a tunnel, this is definitely one of the more convincing ones, and one of the ones that the creator, you can definitely see, has put a lot of effort into, and as a result it is a lot of fun as well. Now, unlike yesterday's episode, I'm going to try and keep the commentary a little shorter so that way you guys can immerse yourselves in the map. I definitely feel this is important for horror maps because, like I said in yesterday's episode, I definitely find that horror maps are much more atmospheric. There's a lot more going on in terms of the soundscape, I suppose you could say. And so I'm going to go very quickly what I think are the pros and cons of this particular map. But of course, if you guys have any other things that you pick up either in the video or in your own sort of playing experience, if you are to play this map yourself, definitely put it in the comments down below. And also, just immerse yourself in the map, as you might find an idea that you might be able to use in your own custom map creation as well. But without any further ado, let's get into the pros of this particular map. And the first pro is that, as I said earlier, this is a pretty, well, let's say a very convincing tunnel. There's so much going on in this particular tunnel. The zombies create the, I guess, sort of spooky atmosphere. I mean, adding a zombie to any type of map is going to do that. But just the sheer amount of details in terms of the vehicles that are sort of scattered around, the dead bodies, the lighting and the smoke, and just all these elements coming together to create what is a very chaotic, claustrophobic, and I guess conflictive tunnel, I suppose you could say. Not that the tunnel itself has conflictive feelings or anything like that, but just the whole way that the tunnel has been set up, it evokes that sense of that fear and panic that a zombie apocalypse would cause. And this tunnel is kind of an illustration of that particular, illustration. The next thing I really like about this map is the side areas. Now, I'm referring to the rooms along the tunnel that you have to access via the bunker doors. Now, not only is it pretty cool to open the bunker doors, let's be honest, but those side rooms, they're not particularly big. They only have a handful of zombies in them, but they do tell a little bit of the story of this apocalypse, of this event that's unfolding within the map. And I guess it kind of makes the player feel as if they're part of a larger map or they're part of a larger narrative. And it's just really cool to see. One suggestion I would make though is maybe to introduce some slow motion scripting so that when players open the doors they can kind of clear out the rooms a little bit like the Call of Duty Modern Warfare Gulag mission. I think that's one of those missions that kind of just sticks in any gamer's head once they've played it. But yeah, it's just a suggestion, and I definitely think it could mix up the map a little bit further. Pro number 3 is I think this map has a really good amount of zombies. It's not a extremely overwhelming amount, but it is the perfect amount that allows the player to be able to immerse themselves in the map, but also have sort of a challenge to an extent, but also have a good time just defeating the zombies. And the class itself is pretty low in terms of weaponry. You only get like a 45-70 and I think maybe a magnum and possibly a bow and arrow. I can't exactly remember, but nonetheless, I think it's a really good gun setup because it just allows you as the player to be able to, I suppose, take out zombies, but it's not super overpowered either. So I think in terms of the amount of zombies and the weapons that the creator has given to the player, I think this is a really well balanced map in terms of what you're up against and what you have to defeat what you're up against as well. Now, moving on to the cons, I really only have one, and that is the lighting. I do think that the creator has done a really good effort in terms of making the map look believable in terms of all the lighting, and I can definitely see it would have taken quite a lot of time to implement all the lighting because the creator has implemented lighting basically everywhere, coming out of the headlights of cars, in the tunnel lights, basically everywhere. There's some sort of lighting going on. Uh, Again, maybe you might find lighting emitting itself from fire pits or from yeah, just different types of rooms. But I think the creator could have improved the lighting slightly because all the lighting is basically the same whitish sort of color instead of changing the color of the lighting to suit the lighting source that it's coming from. For example, you may notice that in some of the cinematic shots or even in the gameplay, that some of the lighting coming out of the fire barrels is white and doesn't emit that orangey sort of color that the fire actually is. So if I was the creator, I think they've done a really good job in terms of the lighting and in terms of the intensity of the lights themselves. But I think all they really need to do is just go through the map and change the color of a lot of the lighting just to reflect the original lighting source that the light is coming from. Once I've done that, I think the map will just have a much more realistic overlay and will be really polished to the extent where players will barely notice anything sort of out of place, and as a result, I think the player will, yeah, just have a solid slash flawless time playing the map because there won't be any noticeable sort of issues. Now, as you guys can tell, the commentary for this video is a lot shorter. Like I said, I definitely wanted to keep the commentary for this one shorter just so you guys could immerse yourselves in the map. But as I said at the beginning of the video, if there is anything else that you notice that you think the creator could improve on this map, then definitely put it in the comment section down below. And as always, if you're new around here, please remember to like and subscribe and hit the bell icon if you're new around here as well. But otherwise, yeah, feel free to give this map a go if you are on the Xbox. If you're not, or whether you are, then yeah, feel free to watch the rest of the gameplay. But otherwise, I'm Braddels Gaming, I'm signing out now, and remember to have yourselves a great day.
victorious.